Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the K-Dot Kente Show, man. A special edition, man. As you see, I brought my brother. I had to ask my brother to come on this one. You know, because see, right now, ladies and gentlemen, this video what we doing right now, this conversation me and my brother doing right now, we doing on this Richmond casino thing that just passed and just happened, as far as with the votes, everything. We just spitting our opinion on it, and I call it Black Self-Determination, Thoughts on Richmond Casino. Now, before I start, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. Me and my brother, Haki, Kweli, Shakur, are residents from Richmond, Virginia. We live in Richmond, Virginia. We were born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. So I feel like we have our opinions that we can spit and our thoughts that we can talk about this topic. What's going on, my bro?
Free the land, man. Revolutionary greetings, man. I appreciate it. Bring me back on your platform to talk about this important topic, and everything is good. Everything is well. Free the land.
Yes, sir, man. I had to bring you back, man, because it's just been a crazy situation, though, Shakur, man, with this casino thing, man. And it's over with now and all that. So I'm glad we're doing this video now while everything is over with, because it was just so much controversy concerning this situation, man, as far as with getting the casino in Richmond. And before we talk about that, we already have a casino in Richmond that's on Midlothian called Roses. So we already have that casino, but that's white owned, so that's a white owned casino. What the city wanted to bring in Kathy Hughes, Public One. I want to shout out to Miss Kathy Hughes too, because she's a legend. She's been helping brothers and sisters get their dream out there for numerous of years. So I have to shout out Miss Kathy Hughes, TV One, and everything. But what they was trying to do, man, they was trying to get something down here black owned for people, and everybody. I think we all have our opinion about it, but I think the way that, as far as especially with Black America, with our opinions on it, we agree and we disagree, and it's like we ain't friends or nothing no more, and we missing the big point of everything. Speak on that, brother Shakur.
Yeah, revolutionary greetings. I would just start off like this. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put my disclaimer out there right now.
Yeah.
As far as the casino and things of that nature, I want people to understand that, as far as me, I was neutral in the situation. So I just want to put that out there so people can understand that I'm coming from a view of, a revolutionary worker. You know what I'm saying? If I put it in simple things like that. So I'm gonna put it in I'm neutral in the situation. So, and what I mean by being neutral is that I'm not saying that I was for the casino or against the casino. I'm an individual who's a citizen, of the Republic of New Africa, and I'm coming from that perspective of, even being a citizen of this community right here, Richmond, Virginia. I'm coming from the perspective of, of being a revolutionary worker and things of that nature. So I'm neutral. I'm not saying I was, but when it comes to our community, in the community that I'm speaking of, which is the New African community, the New African Black community, misnomer the African American community, the Chicano, Mexico brown community, because we got to put them in there, because we got to realize where this casino was trying to be built at.
Facts.
And
facts.
I heard you bring up Roses, and Roses indeed is a European American owned casino.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to put that out there, and that's on Southside. That's on the Chesterfield Southside borderline, and that's a European casino. And my thing is this: before I even get to the Richmond casino, is that I didn't see this type of uproar or this type of opposition against Roses when they built Roses on the South Side in a predominantly, Black and brown community. I see all this campaigning, say no, vote no. You know what I'm saying? Against this casino.
Come on.
Casino got built and started, and it's on the South Side.
Yep.
So I just want to put that out there, so people can look at it from that objective perspective. Like, where was all this uproar and all these things of nature when the European Americans brought their casino to a predominantly black and brown community? I didn't see all these say no signs and this opposition and the funding coming from the opposition to stop this casino. And let me remind you, this casino is set up in a part of Southside where there's predominantly poverty, drug addiction, all these things of nature. You go right down that little whole strip. That's a whole, you know what I'm saying, impoverished area with the motels, the hotels, and things of that nature. Alcohol addiction, drug addiction. I didn't see none of these individuals. When they set up Roses on like the south side in the predominantly black.
And now let's remember, Roses is on Midlothian, but it ain't like, you know what I'm saying, well, they was gonna put the casino in a predominantly black neighborhood either. But Roses is in a neighborhood where it's drug infested. Let's not get that twisted. Drug infested, all crime going on. You walk that Midlothian strip, all that. That's still a impoverished neighborhood too.
Yes.
But we didn't get that uproar over that because I don't know why. But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of funny because this was gonna be the first black-owned casino, though. You know what I'm saying? That was my only thing. And then my opinion about it was, you know, I'm looking at, okay, it's a casino, but I'm looking at the benefits what the casino was bringing. It wasn't just a casino, it was a resort. Restaurants, studios, 180 jobs. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at, and stuff like that benefit me. I'm looking at stuff like that. Yeah, the casino, you know, everybody like, nah, man, the casino be exploiting the community, the casino. Okay, I do get that. But it was bringing 180 jobs for people too. And it was bringing opportunity to Richmond. That was my thing. It was bringing opportunity, traction, an opportunity that we all could use as a people. I get the, you know, I get the gambling and all that, but like you said, bro, I'm gonna go back to you. Y'all ain't had that much uproar when Roses got built on fucking Midlothian. Shit, they clocking in 30 million of fucking in 2 weeks over there. Y'all ain't had that uproar over that motherfucker.
Right.
And think about it. And me and this brother right here specifically, we did videos on Richmond, Black Wall Street. Me and this brother did. Jackson Ward, Richmond, Black Wall Street. So I want you to break this down, bro. How that if that casino would have did someone came, how that could have brought back the effects of Black Wall Street. I want you to break that down, bro.
Yeah. And before I even get to that aspect, let me just put this out here, people to understand as well. When we talking about statistics and all these type of things, people like to go off and things of this nature. Let me remind you that area that Rose is in is a high violent area as well. Like a lot of internal violence has been taken on that whole strip and things of that nature. And these so-called individuals who are the opposition and who voted no against the Richmond casino, y'all didn't have that same outrage for that area where Black people, New African people are still being murdered up and down that strip right there on the outside. So I just wanted to put that out there, you know what I'm saying, to give people something to think about. But when we talking about New African Black self-determination of Richmond, when we talking about the historic perspective of Black self-determination, we got to understand, even before we get to the periods of time of William Washington Brownie, John Mitchell Jr., Maggie L. Walker, and all these great individuals who were the proponents of New African Black self-determination, Garveyism in Richmond, Virginia. We got to understand, before we even get to that period of time, we have a historic history here in America, which is called the historic slave trade, the domestic slave trade, and things like that. We got to understand that and look at these things beginning there. You have to always start there. And we all know when it comes to the city of Richmond, we got individuals who don't even know this history. We got individuals who shrug off this history. You got people who don't want to talk about this history when it comes to our enslavement and things of that nature, where in fact the origin of the domestic slave trade was founded was here in the city of Richmond. So let's start there. We need to start there and talk about that and how it affects us through that period of time all the way up until our generations now. Now, when we get to Black Wall Street, Jackson Ward, the foundation. Matter of fact, the first Black Wall Street period was here with William Washington Browning, the individual who founded the first new African Black bank in the history of the United States of America. But I like to say our story, the New African story. It starts there, the late 1800s, the 1890s. And I always like to say this because, man, this is the most important part, Kente, is that when we're talking about St. Kofa, when we're talking about reflecting and looking back in our past, in order for us to go forward, we have to start there. We had a rich history of Black self-determination that's still under attack today in the city of Richmond, Virginia. You had these great individuals who came along, inspired by Marcus Garvey, who founded one of the most powerful economic, movements in the history of New African history in America. Maggie L. Walker comes in the picture, the first New African Black woman who founded the first, who was the first New African Black woman to found a bank in American history. Our story as well. We get through that period of time. The message was clear, Kente. The instructions were clear. Do for yourselves.
Yeah.
People of city of Richmond, do for yourselves. This is what your ancestors, and you got to remember what these individuals came out of. They came out of one of the most horrific Ma'afas and Holocaust in history, the transatlantic slave trade. And they found their way, they struggled their way, they fought their way to get land.
Yep.
Get land for our people to set up our own individual, situation economically, our industry, industrialization, and all these type of things. So during that period of time, the late 1800s all the way into the 1920s, we're economically empowered. You see what I'm saying? We're doing for ourselves at that point in period of time. And the only reason why I'm saying all this, because we got to put this in a historical context to get down. We're economically empowered. So when that economic empowerment started to deteriorate, and we know why it started to deteriorate, because here we go again, our enemies. You know what I'm saying? Our enemies. And I'm just putting it out here. I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Yeah.
The white Americans of this city started a war and attack on that situation. Yep. That situation with Jackson Ward and the Navy Hill. Because we got two historic Black neighborhoods at this point in time. You got Navy Hill, you got Jackson Ward, Black Wall Street. Two economic empowerment, things going on at the same time in the city. They started to come under attack. And if you go back and do the history and research and see what happened after that, and even during that period of time, if you can see how our people were living at that point in time, that was a situation that was assigned to come. If you see how our people was living after that started to deteriorate, they were living in slums, ran their housing, poor water, and all these things of nature. The genocide started then, Kente. Yeah. It started in the early 1900s and the 1920s. Now, moving to the Richmond casino aspect of this whole type of situation. Now, you got to think about it. After we come out of the Jackson Ward, Maggie L. Wall Street history and things of that nature, now you got the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, bro, going into the 70s. You know what I'm saying? During this whole period of time, you still had aspects of Black self-determination going on. There were Black people in this community trying to maintain what they had, far stores, barbershops, things that were still in place, to do for ourselves. So remember, we stand on doing for ourselves, self-determination.
Grocery stores, that stuff.
Stores, all these type of things that we no longer have today. Because when you go out into the city of Richmond right now, you barely see anything Black owned. Now, you got a few restaurants sprinkled out throughout the city that's Black owned. Cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's not enough at the end of the day, because it hasn't returned to the industry that we had with Maggie L. Walker and Black Wall Street, William Washington Brown, and all these people. That industry gone, even along with the farming, all these type of things, hasn't returned to what it was of being self-sufficient and things of that nature. So now we get up, like I said, remember, all this period of time goes by. Now we're starting to see these things being taken from us. The community is starting to deteriorate. Black businesses are starting to get pushed out through racist practices of redlining, and all these type of things, loans, racist loan practices, and things of nature. So now you got black people they can't do for themselves. Their businesses are being taken. They can't get no loans due to racist practices in the city. They stealing land. They taking land from black people in Richmond, Virginia. So now all these things are deteriorating by the 80s. When you get to the 80s, the crack era.
Yeah.
And that's the second epoch of warfare. The first epoch of warfare is the transatlantic slave trade and the domestic slave trade of Richmond. That's the first war. The second warfare is the crack era. The drugs pushed into the Richmond community. Now everything is really starting to deteriorate. All this stuff is starting to disappear. And let me remind you, this was around the period of time of the Great Migration when European Americans was moving out of Richmond, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to put this in a historical context. The white people of the city of Richmond moved out. They moved into the suburbs, the outskirts, Henrico, Chesterfield, Hanover, all the counties on the suburb, on the outskirts of Richmond. So they moving out. They moving out of Church Hill. Because you got to remember, they was in Church Hill at one point in mass numbers. Some of them still in the West End. You know what I'm saying? A lot of white people still in the West End too. But that was even predominantly, you know what I'm saying, black at one point. You know what I'm saying? Because people got to remember, at every aspect of our history in Richmond, we outnumbered them. We outpopulated them. And that was due to the slave trade. And then you got to look at that. You got to look at that horrific cycle as well. Slave breeding. Slave breeding is what made our numbers go up in the city of Richmond.
That made our numbers outnumber.
Yeah, we outnumbered them. Yeah. We still outnumber them, but
it's shortening though. With the numbers of the population, you see it.
Yeah, it's shortening, and we know where that comes from. That came from the second warfare, the crack era. That's still having an effect on our community right now, which is the internal violence that manifested out there. So now you got new African black people in Richmond. We killing each other over drug turfs. Everybody trying to make a dollar, because you got to remember at this point in time, we done deteriorated from Maggie L. Walker and them. Now everybody's struggling and fighting and scrapping for the scraps. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we are invested in this internal tribalism of killing each other and things of that nature. So when we get up to now, even in 2023, look back, St. Kofa, of all that effect now and where we are today in the Richmond community. Southside, predominantly black and brown, like I stated earlier. When you come into the Southside, all the jobs are gone. There's no type of industry outside of Philip Morris and DuPont. And we know Philip Morris and DuPont on the Southside. And I don't even like to really count DuPont because DuPont is on the borderline. Yeah. It's on the borderline of Chesterfield. So you know that's controlled by white Americans. As well as Philip Morris. Philip Morris is a white American corporation. It's not a black corporation. So the only reason why I'm saying this is because when it comes to the hiring process, you see what I'm saying? I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to the point what you're saying about the casino. The hiring process doesn't favor us, even though we dominate this area. You see what I'm saying? We dominate the South Side, but the hiring doesn't favor us. And that's only because it's only two industries on the South Side that's owned by white America. So, okay, here comes, Kathy Hughes and them, 2023, you know what I'm saying? With their idea of trying to uplift the new African black community of Richmond, Virginia, is bringing something here that they think can help us and employ our own. Again, black self-determination. Whether you agree with it or not, you know what I'm saying? This is people who have a history of helping black people. You see what I'm saying? It's not in the reverse. It's not in the reverse. You ain't got to like her. You ain't got to agree with her. But the resume speaks for itself.
That she helps black people out. She does.
Yes. The resume speaks for itself. This is an individual who has helped black people. And I'm going to go and use the terminology a lot of these house niggas like to use. Pulled up from the bootstraps. She did that. She's doing that. She's pulling black people up from the bootstraps. And here you go again in 2023. Here she comes to Richmond, Virginia. Like, I can help this historic black community of Richmond, Virginia. I can help you. So here's my idea, a result. Let's start there. First of all, I see people in the outrage when they hear the word casino. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. We know historically casinos have, we talking about white casinos, have exploited communities. But in the same aspect, these white casinos have helped the white community.
Mm-hmm.
They have pulled their own people up by the bootstraps, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. And look at some of these communities where white casinos at. They are thriving. White Americans are thriving with the casinos. And I'm gonna take it even deeper, Kente. Watch this. Our native indigenous brothers and sisters.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
The individuals who have suffered horrific Holocaust for 500 years. Richmond, Virginia is indigenous land. Let's make that clear. Let's go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah.
Richmond, Virginia is indigenous people's land. These individuals were removed and displaced off of their land. Their nation was attacked off of this land. They're on reservations on the outskirts of Richmond, Virginia now. The Paw Monkey tribe, all these tribes, they're on the outskirts of Richmond, Virginia. But they're doing the same thing, and I'm not saying they're copying off white people, but they know that it's all about self-preservation at the end of the day. Let's put that out there. Self-preservation of your people. So if you look around now, you got across this country, native nations, native peoples. What are they thriving off in their community? What did they build to get some kind of industry and an economic foundation to do for themselves? Casinos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you go across America right now, kids, every reservation, just about every reservation of native nations, their main economic foundation is a casino.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? This is historical facts. Nobody can dispute this. You can't dispute this. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm telling you, they did what they had to do for self-preservation. And it's working. I'm not saying it's working completely well for them, but it's helping them survive, self-preserve themselves. They can do for themselves. They can take care of their own people.
And I want to say this too, Shakur. I think we, as especially a community where we live in and where we from in Richmond, Virginia, I think we operate off emotions so hard, man, because of how bad our ancestors been oppressed. You know what I'm saying? And it's through DNA, through generations. So I know we operate off emotions and shit, right? But I feel like I said, we don't look at the big picture. And I'm not saying all my brothers and sisters, because it was brothers and sisters that was for it and might want for it. But what I'm saying is that power structure, get in the middle of that and persuade our people. Oh, y'all know it's it's not gonna be a good idea. Just go ahead and vote no for it. It's not gonna really thrive the community. Violence are over there too, So that automatically go back in our head. Well, man, it's a lot of violence over that way and all that. And actually, there's violence everywhere.
Everywhere.
I keep saying this, man, when you talk about the history of Richmond, people want to be technically about Richmond, Virginia. When we were coming up in the early 90s, late 80s, this was the murder capital of the world. And I'm going to always say that because we always say, man, Richmond, everybody say Richmond bad, man, bad. I don't know if it was real bad than when we was coming up. Right. I'm talking about when we want to talk about historical violence, black on black crime, literally. Right. I don't know if it was badder than when we was coming up in the early 90s. I'm just sorry. It is bad now. It is bad now, but I feel like when people say that, they shouldn't use that as an excuse for not wanting to have a casino right there or whatever, because what we just was talking about on Midlothian is hotels, violence, and all that way up that way. But where that's at, though, right there on the border of Chesterfield.
Yep.
On the border of Chesterfield. One light, you in Chesterfield. So, we just looked at black self-determination with this situation, man, with the opportunities of people saying, well, shit, man, we got to leave Richmond, bro, to go to goddamn HCL, Houston, Charlotte, man, to get on. I'm looking at, I have a show, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at, well, damn, she bringing a studio, she bringing a result. It ain't just about the casino.
It's not just about
that's what people fail to miss. It's not just about that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It was about opportunities, networking, building relationships, all that. That's what I was saying, but we already know how everything went, but go ahead.
I'm glad you bring that point up because we want to make it clear. Let's make it clear right now what we're talking about. What we're talking about is racism.
Facts.
Racism is a systematic system of economic oppression. Period. And it deals with race.
Yep.
That whole situation with the casino was based on race. I'm saying this out my mouth. I don't care who like it and who agree with it or who don't agree with it. This was about race. It's always going to be about race because of the historic foundations of Richmond, Virginia. The historic foundations of Virginia, period, is based on what? The construction and the concept and the construct of race. Period. Economics. Economic oppression is about race. This whole situation was about race because
and let me tell my people, y'all don't think these white people out here seeing that situation like, shoot, if the niggas get this casino down here, we don't want no Black Wall Street coming back down here. No, we don't. And I ain't saying some white people I know wanted the casino for the area too. So I'm not gonna say it was all white people, but like you said though too, when we talk about racism, white supremacy, we talk about a systematic thing. We're not talking about, it's that white person right there, or is that white person? No, we're talking about a systematic thing that's starting from generation to generation. I'm talking about since our ancestors came on a boat down here in Shakur Bottom. That's what we're talking about. Because it was some people, some white people that was actually for that. Was like, that'd be a good idea, this and that. So, but we know what the power structure holds, and we understand. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, exactly. We this is about the power structure, people. This isn't about nothing else. Now, like you just said, there were white people who voted yes, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what I'm saying, like you said, I'm not saying all white Americans was voting no, but a great majority of them voted no, and it was on the other side of town. And the other side of town was the foundation of what? The domestic slave trade. So now you got European Americans and white Americans that live on that side of town who are still historically stuck in a consciousness of they don't want blacks to do for themselves. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to the Southside, we got to think about the history of Southside being neglected for these last 2 decades. We're 3. It could be like 3 decades of how Southside has been neglected economically. And now at the end of the day, I'm looking at it like you got to go back to the period of time when Southside was annexed with Chesterfield and all these racist things that took place. Then you got to look at today in 2023 and over the last 10 years, the displacement of new Africans in the city, the displacement of black people. They're moving black people out of Richmond, and now the European Americans are coming back into Richmond. They're in Churchill. You see what I'm saying? They're in Highland Park.
Blackwell, now Manchester, as they used to call it back in the day.
Now they done brought back the racist history of Manchester on Hall Street corridor, where you got European Americans moving in, building up apartment complexes, high rent, businesses, and all these type of things, where they're now taking over that aspect. That really is Blackwell. Let's go ahead and put that out there. Historically, that's Blackwell. That's not Manchester. That's not Manchester. Because you got to remember the point of period of time, that whole Hall Street corridor was black businesses. I remember when my mother told me when she was growing up as a child, when her mother used to take her down Hall Street in that area, that whole area was black businesses. Now you see that. Now you see the historic racism economically of now these businesses don't exist no more. Even on Broad Street, there were historical black businesses on Broad Street. All these things are now gone, but I'm gonna keep it Southside. The Southside has no economic foundation for blacks to establish or move forward with black self-determination. There are no jobs. So what I'm saying with the casino thing is whether you was for it or against it, this is my perspective of it is this. And I'm coming from a revolutionary perspective on this whole situation now. Yeah. When it comes to that casino thing and things of that nature, when we're talking about referendums, I'm thinking like this, and this is my belief. I believe that when it comes to a referendum, we have the right to let the people choose. Being that the South Side is a predominant black and brown community, I feel like even with the people on the North Side, you can throw them in there too, and the people across the water, you can throw them in there. If we're all going to vote on this referendum, I feel like, it should be left up to the people to choose. I get that part. Absolutely. Yeah. It should be up to the people to choose. But I felt like this referendum should have been more for the South Side. The South Side people should have been the ones who majority voted for this casino. This referendum should have been took up on the South Side. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's where we need to start at. We need to start there. It should have been started on the side of town of the people who need an economic foundation, an industrial foundation. Not to isolate ourselves. I'm not looking at it from that aspect. I'm talking about this is a predominantly black and brown community, so it should have been voted on by a black and brown predominantly community. The referendum should have been on the South Side. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, a lot of stuff across the water has industry. I ain't gonna say it got a whole lot of industry, but it got more industry than the neglected Southside areas. You see what I'm saying? Well, we don't have no jobs over here. When you go out into your community on the South Side, you can't find a well-established occupation. You know what I'm saying? Across the water, you can.
Like, oh,
you know what I'm saying? Even though you still got to drive on the outskirts and things of that nature as well. But on the South Side, we got to go deep into Chesterfield. You know what I'm saying? Where we're outnumbered by European white Americans in Chesterfield, so we're fighting and scrapping with them for their jobs. You know what I'm saying? Where Southside is the biggest side of town, we should be able to go out into our community and easily get occupation on the biggest side of town. You see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to the resort, what I'm saying is when it comes to the casino resort, this was the opportunity for occupation for individuals who lived in that community, black and brown people. You see what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not. And it goes back to this. Whatever the choice would have been, you know what I'm saying? If our people would have voted yes and we would have won and they would have won, then I would have supported them through the contradictions.
Yeah.
See, people understand there's always going to be contradictions. Violence, drugs, things like that.
Always.
It's in everybody's community.
Always.
Stop trying to isolate black issues from other people's issues. There's proximity crime in white communities. Whites are killing Mexicans every day. Arabs are killing Arabs. Now, I'm not trying to compare them to our genocide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you gotta understand these proximity crimes are taking place daily in these communities. But
let the people know where the casino was gonna be at, bro. Let them know where they was gonna put the casino at, though, over Southside. Because some people, I think, really didn't know, and some people had some mixed ideas of where it was gonna be at. They didn't know where they was gonna put it at. Let them know where that joint was gonna be at.
Far as my recollection, the casino was supposed to be somewhere there off of Commerce Street, a little bit past Philip Morris. And if you know anything about this area, that little corridor right there past Philip Morris is hotels. You got a McDonald's, you got a couple of gas stations and things of nature. But then you got warehouses back in that area for Pacific business. I think some of the warehouses are attached to Philip Morris, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a whole lot of abandoned lots back there. So it's really nothing being done there in that area. There's a bunch of land, abandoned parking lots and things of that nature that's just sitting there and not being developed. So the casino was going to be built on a plot of land where it's been abandoned. It's abandoned warehouses and it's a whole bunch of land, trees and things of that nature where there's nothing. So the idea where people getting confused thinking a lot of people thought it was going to be built near Hillside.
And that's what I was telling them. No, it's not going to be built near there.
Where they got it confused at, that was the first proposal the first time. When the casino got voted no the first time, it was a proposal for it to be in the warehouses. It's supposed to be like some old Philip Morris warehouse where they used to grow the tobacco at in that area near Hillside. That was an idea. It never formulated into an actual, okay, this is where we're going to build a casino at, right here near Hillside. They've been distinguished. That wasn't going to happen. So it moved all the way down there off of Commerce, off of that area in the abandoned corridor of warehouses away from the community. It's not sitting right in the black community or the brown community. It's far off the corridor in the warehouse district and things of that nature, which I feel like was a perfect aspect because in that area, there's no black houses and things of that nature in that area like that. You know what I'm saying? Or brown housing in that area like that. You got to drive a little ways out a little bit. You know what I mean? So when people bring up violence and things of that nature, where's the violence in that area? Show me the stats. Show me the percentage. Yeah. Show me the robberies, violence, things of this nature. And, at the end of the day, we know drug addiction is all across the country.
But see, we got to remember that was in our era of what they were talking about violence around that moved from that. I mean, there's still violence going on very well, but the statistics were high in that area when we were coming up.
Right.
It ain't that high in that area now because
Right.
it was spread it out in Richmond is going up. So,
Right.
like you said, it was. I feel like it was a good area right there for it if they would have got it or whatever.
No, it was a great area, man. It was a great area for the simple fact that it's far out of being set right in the new African Chicano Black community. It's far off. It's off the highway, which was also kind of perfect because that traffic and if people had issue with traffic, that now you can just show them like, no, you got the highway, so it's not going to really be too much traffic and things of that nature. But the whole thing with this whole situation is that at the end of the day, this was an attack on Black self-determination in the bigger picture. Because a lot of people can't see that far. A lot of people can't see that far when it comes to our own Black self-determination. And I'm going to go ahead and put this out here too. The same accountability that they tried to hold against Kathy Hughes and them, and they tried to attack Kathy Hughes and Urban One and Radio One and these type of people, y'all Black citizens and y'all white citizens of Richmond, Virginia, y'all need to hold them same individuals accountable who started to say no campaign. The people that was on the vote no campaign, let's hold these individuals accountable. What's their economic plan for the future for new African and Chicano Black people on the South Side? Because from what I heard and from what I seen statistically wise, y'all raised over $500,000 on a campaign saying say no, vote no against Black self-determination, brown self-determination on the South Side. Y'all pushed the whole campaign, but y'all made $500,000 off it. Where's that $500,000? You see what I'm saying? So-called
active. Where's that money at?
Where's that money active?
Is that money gonna go back in the Black community then?
Is that money going back into the Black community?
Yeah. So what's the next proposal? What we gonna have since y'all raised up that?
Yeah, since y'all raised up that much money, where did that money go? We need accountability on what y'all did. Because from what I heard, a lot of those individuals who are working with the Say No or the No Against the Casino campaign to get citizens in the city of Richmond to vote no, a lot of them individuals wasn't even from Richmond, Virginia. You see what I'm saying? So now you got people coming into Richmond, Virginia.
I'm glad you said that, bro, because that's another thing that I always been noticing out here where we from. It's always motherfuckers that won't born on this concrete, didn't even attend the schools, won't even raised up in the projects, just not from here, come here somehow and make a big impact. Like they live here all their life. I'm just saying, man, don't even know the history of the city, nothing.
They don't have no ancestral ties, no blood ties to the land. They don't have no ties to the land. They don't have no ties to the city. They don't have no ancestral history here. And they come into our community and tell us what we need. And what we should do. You know what I'm saying? And this is the message I'm trying to send to Black people and brown people in the city of Richmond. Stop allowing other people to tell you what to do when it comes to your self-preservation, when it comes to your economics. Stop being followers. It goes back to what I was telling you earlier. This situation is the same situation being played out every time when it comes to social, political, economic issues in our community, is that we got people who are always following white people. That has to stop in the city of Richmond, Black people, brown people. You have to stop following white people. And it might sound crazy, but in the long run, you're going to look at me and you're going to look back at this. You're going to be like, it's not crazy. Because I'm talking about self-determination now. Because these white Americans in the city of Richmond, they got self-determination. They taking care of their own people. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of proportionate poor white people in the city of Richmond. I'm not leaving y'all out neither. There's a lot of poor white people in the city of Richmond as well, who are individuals who can see it from my perspective. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to, poverty and impoverished communities of the South Side of Richmond, Virginia, that's been neglected. Stop following white people. You see what I'm saying? Because white people will smile in your face, but their whole intentions is against you the whole time. They're working against you the whole time. They're working against your people the whole time. You know what I'm saying? We've seen this type of thing play out with the statues. Black people following white people. You got white people controlling your organizing. They're controlling your circles. They controlling your protest.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This has to stop.
Yeah.
If you want to free the land,
That's
if you want to free the people, you must stop following white people. Period.
Hey.
Period.
and you know, and that's not racist. That's not none. That's just black self-determination, because you're not gonna get a white person to follow a nigga nowhere. On business aspect, we want to talk about economics.
Yeah, we talking about business.
Building your community and all that. Never is they gonna follow a black person. No. You want to talk about you want to talk about the Jews? You want to talk about them? They're definitely not gonna follow no black people.
Never
at all.
As a matter of fact, hold on, Kente, hold on. I'm glad you brought that perspective up right now, because this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about racism as an economic system of oppression. Arab people do for themselves. Right. They set up stores out in your community to do what? To do for themselves and their people back home in the Middle East, in the Arab countries. Asian people, they come to the city of Richmond, they do for themselves. They set up their own businesses, they set up their own industry to do what? To take care of themselves, their families, and send money back home to Asia, to the impoverished people of Asia. Arabs send money back to the impoverished communities of Arab countries. Even our black brothers and sisters that immigrate here from Africa, Jamaica, all these type of places, they come here to the city of Richmond to set up businesses and industry to take care of their families and send it back home to their impoverished communities in Africa and Jamaica and those type of things. Economically, new African people, no, I don't even mean to leave these people out. The Chicanos that's coming across the border onto indigenous land that they have a right to come onto, indigenous land because they're indigenous people too. The Chicano Mexican people of Richmond, Virginia, they come to Richmond, Virginia to do what? Set up their own businesses in their community, get money, take care of their own people, send money back to Mexico, impoverished communities to take care of their family.
Facts.
When it comes to black people's self-determination, we can't have that. We've been denied that. Yeah. We can't set up businesses in our communities and they have longevity, because we always got racist politics, racist economics taken away from the black community, where we can't even get an industry established on the Southside or any part of the city that's a black industry to take care of our people and keep the money in our community like Maggie L. Walker and all these individuals did. The dollar leaves our community quicker than any aspect and period and epoch of time in Richmond City, fastest at a historic record time now. The dollar doesn't even stay in the black community. So I don't want to hear nothing about what these people are talking about when it comes to economics, because these people don't have an economic intelligence. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to economic self-determination and preservation for our people. Now, these same activists, the Say No people, what's your economic plan for new African black people on the South Side? That's my question. We're going to go there and we need to take it from there. Where's the accountability? What's your economic plan?
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Yeah. What is the economic plan though, for real? Because everybody was saying vote no, vote no. They
don't have none.
We were saying no, but we won't coming up with a solution to replace the casino idea.
They don't have none.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, as far as like, okay, let's take this to the youth right now. Like, because I'm on the social media. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Instagram. I'm looking at Facebook. I'm like, damn. I'm looking at some of the little young brothers and sisters comments. I'm like, damn. They look like they heard about this joint. They really heard. They like, oh, we can't have nothing. Damn, we was looking forward to it. We can't have nothing. So we always talk about the youth and say the youth messing up everything, but the youth might was looking forward to this for our opportunity too. Far as for when this come along, you know, see, I feel like we be thinking about ourselves, but we not even thinking about what these kids thought about it. Like I said, I heard a little young girl, 16 years old, spit her heart out about the casino. She said, well, she said, well, Roses is white owned, and this was about to be a black owned casino. No, I heard her speaking on this. I'm talking about 16 years old, and she said it was going to bring 180 jobs. And she said, we already have, this is a young 16-year-old black girl said, we already have the most population of homeless people that we had in a long time. Mm-hmm. I said, hold on, how did you? She said, I do a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is with even the youth, man, with these young kids, you can't tell these kids anything no more. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop looking at ourselves and look at the youth too and let them get involved and play a part too of what's going on and stop singling them out about things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, when I came up in Richmond, man, we had the Coliseum. We had June Jubilee. We had Hoop It Up. We had so much things to do, man. And I keep saying, it was crime going on back then. Maybe more crime than it is now. And we had a lot of things to do. A lot of things to do. I just felt like my whole thing on casino thing, I just felt like it would have been an opportunity, man. We just, as black people, was looking, oh, this is casino. It was a resort. It was restaurants. It was a studio, attractions, connections, different people you meet. Too many people don't know about Richmond, Virginia. And if they do know about Richmond, Virginia, they know it's a historical city. Or, man, let me get the fuck up out there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that point up with the youth and the opportunity, because remember, this is about opportunity. One of the most important things when it comes to economic self-preservation and self-sufficiency is what? Opportunity. Violence and all these type of things comes out of the lack of opportunity. So think about the opportunity that you denied these young brothers and sisters in this community, that indeed you don't know how many brilliant entrepreneurial minds that you denied. Go back to that point. You don't know how many entrepreneurial minds you denied from the young people, the brilliant young entrepreneurs who are looking for opportunity in the resort. Because I'm gonna start using casino in the resort, because the resort was bringing jobs and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And opportunity. All the business connects, all the black entrepreneurs who are looking forward to coming to this area to see what they could develop and attribute to help the new African black community strive on the Southside. Look at how many of that you denied by following white people to say no. You denied the youth opportunity. You denied the young entrepreneurs, the scientists, the CEOs of the future. You denied them when you voted no. Now what you think they're gonna do?
And I'm tired of hearing a lot of the people were saying, man, gentrification. Man, don't y'all know if you from Richmond, Virginia, they've been gentrifying this bitch since we were born? Y'all talking about gentrification. Oh, that's gentrification. Come on, man. No, that was an excuse right there. This shit been gentrified before they even thought about that. Thought about the result idea.
And my thing is this. Okay, they keep bringing up gentrification. We know gentrification is going on now. Like we said, go look at the Hall Street corridor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gentrification been going on. They've been moving you out. They've been displacing. Look what they just did to Creighton Court. Where those new Africans went to? They displaced now. You know what I'm saying? They bet that the gentrification is in full effect, and you ain't combating it at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, and it's still kind of hard to combat it through economics and self-preservation. But you're not even fighting back, period, when it comes to self-preservation and black self-determination. Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's a contradiction. We are fighting gentrification and displacement at the same time. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You cannot allow people to deny your younger generation's opportunity to combat gentrification and displacement with these brilliant economic minds. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Stop following these activists who don't have an economic strategic mind. Stop following activists who don't have no plans when it comes to black self-determination, who don't have Garveyism in their spirit, who doesn't have a Garvey mind, who doesn't perceive black economics as a foundation to help us out of this impoverishment. Stop following activists who are not black nationalists. You see what I'm saying? Who don't know? And black nationalism is economics for people who think it's something else. We're talking about political economic foundation. So stop following activists with no economic mind, no brilliance. And I'm not even following no individuals who don't have a black economic mind for black people.
Yeah. Because I was asking people like too, what's the idea for jobs then or whatever that's gonna help our people out then? Anybody got any ideas? Everybody quiet. Don't nobody got no ideas though. You know what I'm saying? But I keep saying we operate off emotions too much and we look at one aspect of something. And we look at, well, shit, that's this, they ain't gonna be doing it, but this gambling up in there. Nigga, fuck all that. I ain't even looking at that shit. I'm looking at the opportunities that we were talking about.
And
that's the point we miss.
And at the same time, brother, at the same time, if they would have voted yes and they would have built the casino and things of this nature, I want this point to get made as well. If they would have built the casino and everything, and they would have passed and all this type of thing, they built it and things like that. You gotta always look at the situation that through dialectical science. And what I mean by dialectical science is this: you always having two opposites, opposing forces going at each other. That's dialectics. It's always opposing forces in a situation that's opposing one another. That's dialectics, man. Contradictions. I want to keep throwing that word in it. Contradictions.
Yeah.
Drugs, violence, all these things are contradictions. You have to deal with them. We deal with it every day right now, right? Yeah. We dealing with these contradictions every day. There's good people in this community every day fighting these contradictions and lessening these contradictions. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if they would have built the casino, and if the casino was not benefiting the black community at some point, then we get rid of the casino. This is how economics work in the white communities, the Arab communities, the Indian community, the Asian communities. They will build something. They will invest in something, right? They will see how it goes. If it starts to go against what they built it for, then they remove it out of their communities. Black people don't even give it a chance.
Yeah.
Black people don't even give it a chance to morph. They don't let it morph into something. Or if it doesn't morph into something, we still have the power because we're the people. The people have the power to get rid of it. If the casino didn't benefit us in the long run, we would have ran them out of town. Simple as that. Simple as that. But you got white racists leading Negroes against the foundation before it even gets started. You see what I'm saying? So now people don't even have no shot. Yeah. They don't have no shot, no opportunity, no nothing. So I'm just putting this out here to the city of Richmond and the black people of Richmond, Virginia, and the brown people of Richmond, Virginia. I'm for self-determination for all people. For all people. Now, if there's people out here that's going against self-determination, don't follow those people, man. Yeah. Don't follow those people.
Yeah. Yeah. So totally agree. Totally agree. That's what we supposed to be. We supposed to be teaching ourselves off, even the youth off right now, man. Yeah. And actually the youth they own black self-determination. Little do we know, because that's like I said, we always knock the youth. We always say what they messing it up, the violence, this and that. But you got a lot of brothers and sisters, young brothers and sisters out here, man, that really know what's going on. Yes. Brilliant minds, brilliant thinkers. All I didn't say our age group is the ones that's kind of stuck, man, and older. Like it is just stuck. We still debating over topics. We still debating over stupid shit. We still, man, you voted yes. No, I voted no. You did yes. I mean, look, if somebody voted yes or no, bro, you still your brother and sister. We got to get out of that bullshit too, because that's why the black community is not thriving either, because we can't agree to disagree. Right. Now, this whole bullshit ass topic of the casino and shit, I know friends lost friends over this topic. A lot of shit didn't happen with this. Yeah. And now look at the psychological of this bullshit. A lot of shit that happened over a black casino. Yes. Over trying to get a black casino in Richmond, Virginia. You got some black. Let me throw this in here. Let me throw this aspect in here. Good. I know a lot of these so-called say-knowers and the no to the casino type of people, they tried to use the aspect of Urban One and Kathy Hughes and them partnering, doing partnership with Churchill's Down and all those type of people that's white on. I get that aspect. I get that. But you got to look at it from this aspect that it still was a black project. It still was by Kathy Hughes and the black people and the black entrepreneurs who are trying to bring something to the city of Richmond. You got to understand, when you don't have your own nation, you don't have your own government, your own land. When it comes to business opportunities,
there's always going to be white people in your business.
Yeah.
But you're not cutting out the middleman. You see what I'm saying? Because you still dropped the ball. You want to know why you dropped the ball? Because when they brought the casino idea the first time to Richmond, Virginia, it was completely all black owned. It wasn't no white business partners the first time. And y'all still voted no. So that lets you know right there how racist this shit was. Because it's like, damn, when they brought the idea here the first time, it wasn't no white business partners. And you still followed white people to the voting polls to vote no against your own self-determination. You see what I'm saying? Southside still left neglected. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear the aspect of, they had business partners, Churchill Downs, the racist Churchill Downs and all that type of thing. Yeah, I get that aspect of it. Yeah, I get that. But it still was majority black owned. You know what I'm saying? Because in economics, you got to be strategic. When something don't work the first time, you can't come back with the same thing over again. That's insanity. Doing something again is insanity. So yeah, she did go holler at Churchill Downs and try to bring them in the picture to try to come at it from a different angle. That's economic play. That's chess. You see what I'm saying? But what I just tell you, Kente, we got to stop following these people that don't have an economic thinking mind, a brilliant economic entrepreneurial mind. You can't follow people like that, bro.
Yeah.
Can't follow people like that.
Yeah, this was one of the biggest topics of the year for us for dealing with our city in Richmond, man. Yeah. You know, so that's why I had to ask you to, you know, that talk about this situation, because I just was seeing a whole lot of this shit was dividing our people up, man. And I was just seeing it was really dividing us. You know, as far as was, man, who voted yes or you voted no, and a lot of people had different opinions. I just was seeing the bigger picture of everything. That's all I was seeing. I was seeing opportunities, man. Who's bringing opportunities to Richmond?
At the end of the day, brother, I'm just disappointed in all the, I'm disappointed in the denial of our youth and the economic minds of the youth, all the brilliant entrepreneurs of our younger generation that's coming behind us, who was going to use that situation to spring their ideas into manifestation. The manifestation of their future and trying to take hold of their future and situation. Like I said, that's a war against black self-determination, because you got black youths out here who understand working together with black people and keeping it in the black community and things of that nature. I know plenty of them in this community. There's black entrepreneurial minds in our community from the ages of 16 to 29, to 16 to 30. I'm talking about brilliant entrepreneurs in this black community. I'm just disappointed in that aspect that you denied these young brothers and sisters opportunity following white people.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you though, bro, all the time, because this was a deep topic, man. I just wanted to know. So now I wonder what's gonna be next though. What's gonna be offered back to the community instead of the casino, idea gone. What else they want to bring here? Something else doing with some bicycles, or something else doing with a race, or what else?
You already know it's gonna be something that don't. It's gonna be something that don't benefit our people. It's just
this what I was saying too. This was an opportunity or time too. If we would have got that casino, where a lot of people wouldn't have to say, "Well, man, I got to go to ATL, bro, to get on. I got to go to DC. I got to go to Philly. I got to go to Houston. I got to go to Miami." Shit, it would have been a lot of attraction down here. You wouldn't have to leave. Now, I understand when people say that though. You know, because look at what our city of Richmond, Virginia, the structure that is set up in. We don't have it's not nothing for the urban black community. For even when I'm doing the public access station, that shit outdated. We don't even got equipment fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody equipment around the world in public access station shit up. Yeah, our shit ain't even up. We still running off old shit. So we got outdated minds down here in Richmond. Look at the fucking city hall, bro. Look at all that. Still 70, 78, 80-year-old fucking senators or people. Or you know what I'm saying? I think we might got some, if I ain't mistaken, some young people a little bit, but not too many. We still got older people still running that shit. It's time, man. It's time for the young. It's time for the young and the youth to come up now, man. We want to prevail in this next century.
Yeah,
we want to prevail as people. And this that because these niggas in our age group and up, these niggas still running off the same old shit. Like literally.
Yeah, they are.
I'm just being real. They running off the same old ideas, the same old bullshit that's going on. These youth have ideas.
Yes, they do.
Great ideas. You know, I'm just being honest and real. You know, that's what we stuck like a motherfucker. We don't even know. We still arguing over bullshit.
Right.
For real. Right. That's the shit that make me mad about our age group. I'm like, what the fuck? We still arguing over dumb shit. You little kids ain't even looking at the shit like that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna close on this note. Like, that's what I mean by Black self-determination has to be the basis of all movements in the city of Richmond. If you don't have Black self-determination as the basis and the interest and the equity of inclusion of Black self-determination, then overall, that's something that we can't move with. We can't move with you. If Black self-determination ain't the nucleus of anything that we're trying to manifest in the city and investing back in our youth through Black self-determination, then we ain't with it.
But it's funny though, some of the people that were saying vote no was some of the same people that were scamming people out here. So that's what I'm gonna be getting out this motherfucker, bro. Some people, I'm seeing people saying vote no for the casino, gentrified, and do all that. I'm like, y'all, some of the same motherfuckers that scamming motherfuckers, don't too.
Yeah,
let's be real.
Scamming the community through.
Come on, man. Y'all talking about the casino. Y'all fucking scamming the community, though.
Scamming the community through donations.
At least I know when I go in the casino, I know, goddamn, I'm going to play a slot. I might lose. I might hit up. Yeah, it's set up. But shit, when I'm fucking with y'all niggas, y'all ain't telling me what's real. Y'all asking me, you got the money? Hey, let me see your ID. Or you want to do it right here? Want to put the money right here? You want to put? Come on, man. Let's be real, man.
And also,
y'all don't want to talk about that type of shit.
And also, y'all don't want to talk about, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out here. Trust me, brothers and sisters, we see them activists out in our community that's exploiting our community through donation. All that donation scamming and all these type of things you ain't putting back into the community. Yeah, I see a lot of you people feeding the community and things of that nature. That's kudos to that and all these type of things. You're trying to help out the homelessness and all these type of things. But we see you scamming. You definitely scamming. You scamming with that donation shit. You scamming.
Yeah. Feeding the community. We shouldn't even have no homeless population the way we have it out here in Richmond. We literally shouldn't have it. That's just my opinion. I feel like we got shit churches on every corner, all these fucking entrepreneurs we got out here, all the goddamn business owners and all that. Why do we have the highest homeless population? I just want to know though. You know what I'm saying? Because I said we got business owners, we got entrepreneurs, we got all these business owners and entrepreneurs, but the Black community is still not thriving. Still not. Somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You know, I just say we as Black people, we operate off emotions. We don't operate off of logic and reality. You know what I'm saying? We get mad too much. We don't sit back and look at shit. Yo, look at the white people. Look at all the other races we talk about. One thing I noticed, they operate off logic. Not emotions.
Facts.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this topic though with you, bro, man, for breaking this down though, man. Whether you voted yes or whether you voted no, man, all we saying is you need to really vote for Black self-determination. And that's the vote in your heart. That's what you need to vote for. That's what you need to think about. Encouraging each other to build each other up with Black self-determination.
Yeah.
And like my brother said, man, stop following people, dog. Stop following it. You know what I'm saying? Like people that's not in your community, people that never been in your community, people that never lived where you lived at, people don't know how the community ran. Nothing.
And don't live in the community.
Don't live in the community. Y'all let a lot of motherfuckers from out of town come out this bitch and act like they've been living in Richmond for goddamn 20 years, and they ain't been living in Richmond for probably 5 years. Y'all following them. Y'all think y'all know everything about this city. Don't know a damn thing.
Don't know nothing about this at all.
Don't got no ancestors. Don't got no ties. Nothing to this city. Nothing. That's just be my only point, man, why I be getting kind of heated, because I'm like, these motherfuckers ain't even from the city.
Not from here.
Where they from?
Not
they come out of nowhere, and they get a big following out of nowhere. Who is you? I never heard of you.
Never heard of them.
Where you from? Who? I don't know, man.
Never heard of them. vote for Black self-determination.
Just vote for that. That's all we saying, man. Stop instead of following motherfuckers. That's it. We gone though, man. We was wanting to talk about this. Was our thoughts on the little casino situation, man, in Richmond. You know, they to keep you updated. You know, they voted no, so that the idea is gone. They're not gonna get it or whatever. But whether you voted yes or voted no, man, you still, you know, cast your opinion or whatever. I just was saying how that shit divided us as a people, and we ain't sit back and look at the big topic, the big point of who was really behind the shit. While we was arguing and shit, bickering and shit, the white establishment like this. Shit, glad them niggas ain't goddamn vote yes. Woo! Yeah, we got them niggas again. Niggas out there fighting over that shit. We got them. These niggas out there, they baiting again. We got these niggas. We know we gonna go get a casino down there anyway. But the niggas mad. They ain't even worried about us. Come on, man. We gotta start thinking about this type of shit, man. Y'all niggas out this bitch getting mad at each other, debating over dumb shit. Over, man, we don't need that, man. They're gonna exploit the community. This and that. What you talking about, man? And this and that and all that. Instead of looking at the big picture. Start looking at the big picture, man.
In closing,
looking at that. For real.
In closing, bring back the spirit of Maggie L. Walker, William Washington Brownie, John Mitchell Jr., and all our great Garveyites and great Black nationalists, man. Bring back the spirit of Black nationalism.
Woo! That's deep. We out of here.
Free the land.